Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm really excited to bring you today's video. If you enjoy my content, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's get started. The autumn of 1622 marked the beginning of a critical period for the Spanish Empire. Spain drew its wealth and power from sea routes, and the Nuestra Señora de Atocha was one of the prideful ships of the Spanish Navy. This ship had been entrusted with carrying the priceless treasures of gold, silver, and emeralds, which were part of the riches brought from the Americas. The ship symbolized the wealth of the Spanish Empire, a carrier of great trade, and the desire to rule. The journey of the Nuestra Señora de Atocha began at a time when everything seemed to be going well for the Spanish Empire. The enormous treasure-laden ship set sail towards Florida with a fleet of ships returning to Spain, carrying gold and silver mined from South America. The ship, along with its cargo, carried an immense fortune, increasing its value even further. The captain and the crew knew that this journey would bring a great reward to the crown at its conclusion. However, this wealth would soon prepare the stage for a disaster that would change the fate of the entire journey. While the voyage began promisingly, the mood of the sea would soon transform this peaceful voyage into a nightmare. The ocean around Florida, contrary to what was known, began to grow dangerous. A hurricane, which was slowly approaching, would force the Spanish ships to surrender to the will of the sea's waves and winds. When the captain noticed the impending storm, he tried to change the ship's course and seek refuge in a safe harbor. But the fury of the seas was so powerful that no precautions could have been sufficient. Meanwhile, the storm's powerful winds were pushing the Nuestra Señora de Atocha, and the giant waves were hitting the ship's hull with great force. As the crew struggled to maintain control, the fury of the seas escalated. The crew had not anticipated this catastrophe, and within a matter of hours, the situation turned into a massive disaster. On deck, chaos ensued as the waves tossed the ship back and forth, putting the sailors' lives in danger. Gold and precious stones were stored in chests throughout the ship. The crew, unaware of the treasure's worth, attempted to abandon ship, but they too succumbed to the sea's embrace. With one final lurch, the ship was hurled forward and, with a deafening roar, sank into the ocean's depths. The gold and silver began their journey into the dark, becoming part of an evolving legend. The storm gradually subsided with the first light of dawn, but the Nuestra Señora de Atocha had disappeared. The ship and its crew's last traces had been swallowed by the ocean. However, this disappearance was not an end. The sunken treasure would remain a mystery, drawing the attention of countless sailors and treasure hunters throughout history. The ocean, holding the lost ship's melancholic memories and its valuable cargo, preserved this loss as a tale to be told for generations. As time passed, the story of the Nuestra Señora de Atocha sank deeper into the history of the sea. The day the ship disappeared, the blue surface of the ocean embraced the secrets it would hide for thousands of years. Days, weeks, months, and even centuries passed. The ocean continued to keep this loss a secret, but the tale of the Nuestra Señora de Atocha and its priceless cargo became a global legend. After the ship's loss, it was not only the Spanish Empire's lost wealth that fascinated people, but also the final moments of the ship that became the subject of much curiosity. Over time, the legend became more than just an unreachable goal for sailors and treasure hunters. Did it really exist? If so, how immense was the treasure? And most importantly, who would be the one to uncover this legend's conclusion? For centuries, many sailors set out to sea, hoping to find the lost ship. They sought to uncover the shipwreck and its hidden treasure deep in the ocean. However, the ocean thwarted every effort to find the Nuestra Señora de Atocha. Each endeavor was in vain, with some sailors disappearing, while others simply became part of the legend. Numerous theories emerged regarding the ship's sinking. Some believed the wreck was somewhere off the coast of Florida, while others claimed they had failed to pinpoint its exact location. In the end, only the moment the Nuestra Señora de Atocha sank left behind an ocean-shrouded mystery, creating an eternal legend of lost riches. In the early 1980s, the search for the lost treasure of the Nuestra Señora de Atocha was reignited. This time, treasure hunters not only relied on old maps and rumors, but also began using more sophisticated technologies, Leading the search was a man named Mel Fisher. Fisher dedicated years of research to finding the lost ship and its priceless cargo. He decided to set aside past failures and dive into the depths of the sea in search of new ways to uncover the wreck. Mel Fisher's passion to find the Nuestra Señora de Atocha was more than just an exploration. It was the merging of history and legend. Using ancient maps, notes written by sailors, and advanced sonar systems to scan the deep oceans, Fisher hoped to find the trace of the lost ship. However, this would not be easy. The ocean, having kept this great secret for hundreds of years, was too vast for only one person's determination and perseverance to uncover. Fisher's first years were filled with failures. Countless dives in search of the ship's location only brought him disappointment. Yet Fisher continued to relentlessly track the ship's trail. Each dive added a new piece of information, and each day he felt closer to uncovering the lost ship. Fisher's passion slowly began to inspire his team members, instilling in them the same desire to uncover the ship's fate. At the same time, every attempt to find the Nuestra Señora de Atocha led to the development of underwater exploration technologies, which were still quite new at the time. Fisher began searching for clues in every shift of the sea, every rock in the depths. The capabilities of technology allowed him to expand his research, but it also highlighted how challenging the task truly was. Every day, Fisher dived with the hope of getting one step closer to finding the lost ship. However, finding the Nuestra Señora de Atocha was a long and arduous journey for Fisher and his team. While the ocean's depths continued to conceal the lost ship, Fisher was determined to do whatever it took to unravel the secrets of the past and the sea. Years of struggle would not only give him a chance to fulfill his dream, but also to make one of history's greatest discoveries. But to achieve this, he would need to continue facing the ocean's mysteries, using new technologies, and pressing forward with unwavering determination. When Mel Fisher began his quest to find the Nuestra Señora de Atocha, his biggest goal was not simply to uncover a treasure. He was trying to unravel the traces of a lost civilization and solve a historical mystery. Fisher's determination would turn the story of the ship and its priceless cargo, which had become a legend, into a tale of human perseverance that pushed the limits of what one could achieve. The ship and its treasures were not only symbols of wealth. They were part of the power and history of the Spanish Empire. At first, Fisher was guided only by legends and rumors. The exact location where the Nuestra Señora de Atocha had sunk had led to the development of numerous theories. Over the years, many treasure hunters and researchers had tracked the wreck's traces, but had failed. However, Fisher's determination overshadowed these previous failures, and he was never one step closer to giving up. His goal was not just to find the lost treasure, it was to uncover a secret buried deep in history. Fisher's journey was filled with difficulties. In the early years, it could have been easy for him and his team to fall into despair, as understanding the fury of the seas was not just about the size of the waves, but also about the uncertainty of the ocean's depths. One of the biggest obstacles he faced during the years spent trying to locate the wreck was financial difficulty. Fisher had struggled to secure the necessary funding for his research. Yet, this obstacle did not break his resolve. He continued his research and formed his team. Every step brought him closer to new clues, but finding the exact location of the lost ship remained elusive. The opportunities provided by science became a glimmer of hope for Fisher. The advancement of sonar technology allowed him to dive into the ocean's depths to search for the ship. This technology helped track down traces of everything hidden beneath the dark surface of the ocean. Fisher, using sonar, scanned the seabed and meticulously examined every inch. Diving teams were sent to the ocean's depths. Each dive brought them one step closer to the sunken wreck of the Nuestra Señora de Atocha. However, with each expedition, the sea offered Fisher a different journey, and each discovery became more elusive. Often, Fisher and his team would find nothing more than pebbles, old shipwreck remnants, or abandoned deep-sea objects. Nevertheless, Fisher's determination never wavered. Each failure pushed him one step further. Legends provided him with constant motivation to pursue the lost ship, but it was his historical curiosity and passion for discovery that truly propelled him forward. Fisher wasn't just searching for a lost treasure. He was trying to uncover the traces of a people and an era hidden in the depths of the past. By the mid-1980s, faith in Fisher began to grow. This faith carried him through until 1985. New technologies, better sonar systems, and a more experienced team helped to eliminate the obstacles in their exploration. Finally, after years of research, Fisher and his team managed to find traces of the Nuestra Señora de Atocha. 85 became the year Fisher and his team's patience and perseverance were rewarded. The remains of the shipwreck began to emerge from the depths of the sea. At this point, Fisher had not only found a massive treasure, but had also made a historical discovery. The 16-year-long arduous journey had not only brought him a material reward, but had also uncovered a treasure from the depths of history. The Nuestra Señora de Atocha, lost in the dark waters of the ocean, had now been brought back to life as part of history. The summer of 1985 marked a turning point for Mel Fisher and his team. The long-awaited news finally arrived from the depths of the sea. Reaching the wreckage of the Nuestra Señora de Atocha was the culmination of a 16-year-long difficult journey. After years of research, setbacks, financial difficulties, and obstacles, Fisher had finally found one of the world's greatest underwater treasures. This moment was not only his victory, but also the greatest triumph of his entire team. The ocean had kept the traces of the lost ship hidden for so long, but Fisher's determination and the power of scientific exploration had finally unraveled the mystery. When Fisher and his team found the Nuestra Señora de Atocha, they gained international fame. Uncovering this ship, lost for so many years in the depths of the sea, was a tremendous achievement not only for them, but for all treasure hunters and historians. The ship carried nearly 400 tons of gold, silver, emeralds, and many other priceless treasures. However, these treasures represented just the surface of the story. The size of the ship and its deep history held much more to be discovered. As the shipwreck and its cargo were brought to the surface, the emergence of dazzling wealth one by one amazed everyone. Gold, silver, and emeralds were among the first items to be recovered from the Nuestra Señora de Atocha. Each piece emerged as a sign of a historical journey from the ocean's dark depths. Divers in their diving suits descended to the ship's depths, carefully examining the wreckage and bringing the priceless cargo to the surface. These first recoveries were not just material gains, but held deep historical significance. Fisher and his team were not just uncovering treasure, they were bringing a piece of history into the light. However, this was only the beginning. The size and mystery of the Nuestra Señora de Atocha deepened with every new item recovered. The shipwreck held a rich cultural heritage. Emeralds, gold, coins, rare stones, all these when put together revealed not just a treasure but the story of a civilization. Every new piece showed that deeper research and exploration were needed. Fisher and his team did not just retrieve the wrecked ship, they also launched a comprehensive investigation to understand the history of the Nuestra Señora de Atocha. This was not just a treasure hunt, it was an archaeological discovery. The team worked meticulously on each item, seeking to learn more about the ship's sinking. Beyond its rich cargo, the ship harbored many more secrets of the deep seas. Every recovered artifact provided new insights into the Spanish Empire of the time, maritime history, and the dramatic events that the ship had experienced. With news spreading from all over the world, the discovery of the Nuestra Señora de Atocha left a significant mark on history. This discovery was not just the recovery of a shipwreck, it was the emergence of a piece of an era and civilization hidden in the depths of the ocean. Fisher and his team became highly renowned both in the scientific community and among the public, achieving one of the greatest submarine treasure discoveries in history. Fisher had not only found a treasure, but had also resurrected a lost piece of history. This discovery was a victory born from their perseverance, combining science and technology. However, this great discovery was only the first step in solving the mysteries of the Nuestra Señora de Atocha. There was still much to be done. The true size and historical significance of Nuestra Señora de Atocha became clearer with every piece that was brought to the surface, inspiring those who wished to continue following the trail of history lost in the depths of the ocean. 1985 discovery of Nuestra Señora de Atocha was a huge victory for Mel Fisher and his team, but the legal battles that followed made it much harder for them to enjoy their success. The immense fortune they discovered was not only historically valuable, but also led them into a complex and prolonged legal struggle. Disputes between the state of Florida, the United States, and Spain raised serious legal obstacles regarding who held rightful ownership of the treasure. After their monumental discovery, Fisher and his team had to contend not only with physical challenges, but also with legal hurdles. Initially, Fisher's team had made significant financial gains by recovering the treasure from Nuestra Señora de Atocha. However, finding the treasure was not enough to claim legal ownership. Due to a historical issue between America and Spain, there was serious uncertainty about who truly owned this great wealth. The state of Florida tried to claim the treasure because the shipwreck occurred near Florida's coast. However, because Nuestra Señora de Atocha was a Spanish vessel, Spain also claimed the rights to it. As Florida was part of the United States, they argued they should be entitled to a portion of the wealth, while Spain, citing the ship's connection to the Spanish Empire, argued that the entire treasure should belong to Spain. This dispute between the two countries complicated Fisher and his team's battle. Fisher, amidst years of legal warfare, fought not only to protect the treasure but also to defend the rightful credit for his discovery. He and his team worked with lawyers to assert their ownership of the treasure. Fisher's team claimed they were legally entitled to the treasure as soon as they discovered it. However, this claim became more complicated with the involvement of various government bodies and negotiations with Spain. Spain, insisting that the ship was a Spanish treasure, sought to reclaim it. The United States engaged in multiple negotiations and agreements, but eventually, Florida's government and Fisher's team reached a compromise regarding ownership rights to the treasure. Fisher, while continuing his fight, entered a prolonged period of uncertainty after discovering the treasure. The legal challenges tested the patience and determination of the team. This period was not only a legal struggle, but also a psychological endurance test. However, after a long legal battle in 1988, Fisher and his team received official approval for their claim to the treasure, thanks to an agreement with the Florida government and Spain. This was a reward for Fisher's perseverance and patience. Both the Florida government and Spain came to an agreement, partially establishing their respective rights to the treasure while ensuring the application of international law and treaties. The Florida government provided the treasure hunting team with a share of the wealth while acknowledging the national ownership of the ship. Spain, while accepting the ship's original ownership, restricted their claim to the treasure found in Florida. Fisher's challenging legal battle was more than just a treasure hunt. It demonstrated the power of determination and perseverance behind the discovery. Legal challenges had become as great a burden as the wealth the discovery had brought. But in the end, Fisher emerged victorious, securing ownership of the priceless cargo of Nuestra Señora de Atocha. Through all the obstacles and challenges, Mel Fisher's years of struggle not only resulted in a historical discovery, but also highlighted how complex and difficult law and justice can be. The discovery of Nuestra Señora de Atocha meant much more than just bringing a great treasure to light for Mel Fisher and his team. This historic achievement should not be measured solely by material rewards, such as gold, silver, and emeralds. After years of difficult journeying, Fisher and his team had not only unearthed a ship from the depths of the sea, but also uncovered a legend that symbolized human determination, imagination, and resolve. Nuestra Señora de Atocha, beyond being a lost ship in the dark waters of the ocean, became a symbol of one person's passion, patience, and deep respect for historical heritage. Fisher's years of perseverance were etched into history not only by his discovery, but by the legacy he left behind. While the ship and its riches might appear as mere material wealth on the surface, they became a symbol of a historical journey and a victory for humanity. As Fisher's team delved into the ocean's depths to uncover the secrets of the past, they also sent a message that the greatest obstacles humans face can be overcome. With patience and determination, Fisher showed the world that finding a historical legacy is not just a physical victory, but a spiritual one as well. However, the historic discovery of Nuestra Señora de Atocha was not just a physical find. The ship laid the groundwork for the birth of a legend. Fisher's discovery became an inspiration for treasure hunters and historians around the world. The legend grew over time, much like the story of the ship lost in the depths of the ocean. Fisher and his team's discovery not only brought to light a ship lost beneath the seas, but also, beyond its riches, revealed the human imagination, belief, and desire to explore. Today, the wreck of Nuestra Señora de Atocha and the treasures recovered still bear the traces of many more secrets hidden in the depths of the seas. The ship and its priceless artifacts not only secured a place in history books, but also became iconic in maritime history and the pursuit of treasure. Fisher's discovery proved once again that the drive for exploration within humans is more powerful than simply seeking gold and emeralds. Nuestra Señora de Atocha evolved into a legend. The story of a lost history beneath the restless waters of the sea became a tale symbolizing human determination to follow one's dreams. The ship and its history continue to spark great curiosity in the modern world. Every year, research is conducted to commemorate Fisher and his team's courage and perseverance, as traces of a lost era are sought in the depths of the seas. Nuestra Señora de Atocha remains more than just a sunken ship. It continues to be a lesson, a warning, and an inspiration for humanity. This discovery demonstrated that treasure hunting is not only about seeking wealth, but also about delving into the depths of history, reaching lost civilizations, and uncovering the great mysteries of the past. Fisher and his team's legacy continues to live on, not just in the depths of the seas, but in the minds of people. Nuestra Señora de Atocha, which once began its story as a lost ship, has transcended its origins, becoming a symbol of everything humans can relentlessly pursue with passion and determination throughout history.